con los rompe discoteca.
Tú quieres duro. 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 Hoy te demostramos que somos los nuevos jefes del underground. Quieres duro.
Dale duro y dale más duro.
It is high, it is far, it is gone.
Los verdaderos. Vamos pa' la calle.
Mixing live straight from New York City.
Mi gente, how's everyone doing today? I am Roberto Ruiz, aka Don Sicario. Welcome back to another episode of Don Yankee con el Body, brought to you by NYYNEWS. How's everyone doing? I missed y'all. I missed you folks. We are back. The Yankees are rolling. The Yankees are rolling. 27 games in so far. 18 wins, 9 losses. Don't count us out? Question mark. Brian Cashman quote. Hey man, it's so far the Yankees are looking pretty good. I mean, they still have their little issues going on, but so far the bats are alive. The bats have risen. I mean, you know, we still have a few issues with runners in scoring position, but I'm feeling more confident in this team. The division doesn't seem that far-fetched, right? I mean, 6 games behind the Rays in Baltimore. That's not bad. You know, we're still in May. We're about to end May, and the Yankees so far are putting up a fight. And I'm loving it because this definitely could give Brian Cashman some life into doing something during the deadline. But let's talk about El Capitan, Aaron Judge. I want to give a shout out to the Boo Jays, for being such crybabies and awakening a monster in Aaron Judge. I mean, this guy's killing it right now. Aaron Judge it seems like he's going to have a repeat of last year. And so far, he's at 17 home runs, 38 RBIs, I mean, a 302 average. His numbers are looking pretty good. Aaron Judge is officially back. And he's doing things that he was doing before. I understand Ohtani does pitching and hits, but he does, even if we're talking about just the position player, there's no way that he gets the MVP over Aaron Judge. Of course, these guys love Ohtani because of his pitching and whatnot. And I get that. Ohtani's an animal. He's a different kind of person. But this year, it's going to be interesting, man. I would love to see another. I'm ready for another back and forth with fans on who should be the MVP, Ohtani or Aaron Judge. And who knows, maybe if the baseball gods bless us right, we'll have both of them on the same team. We're not going to get into that mess of rumors, but the Yankees are rolling, though. I'm definitely a little bit more confident than I was last month. So we're the players right now are performing well. Some of them are underperforming, of course. Some of the baby bombers are underperforming, but that's what we expected. That's why I was crying all offseason to add at least 2 more bats to kind of balance out the regulars with the babies, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not like they're just going to go out there and become stars. So we got a few guys coming back. Stanton's going to return soon. Rodon should be returning. Tommy Kahnle's really close to returning. We have Sevy back. Sevy had a great game. You know, Sevy seems like he's back. Sevy seems like he's definitely back. And, you know, if Sevy is healthy, if Sevy's healthy, he's another ace. He's another ace on our team because Sevy's that good. I don't care what anybody says. In the first half of 2018, he was the ace. He was in line to become Cy Young, at least top 3 Cy Young. He had that issue with his shoulders, and everybody knows what happened after that. Harrison Bader, Lord Bader, right? He had a little injury. He has an injury thing going on right now. He left the game with some kind of hamstring injury. I'm not sure exactly what's going on there. I mean, as soon as more news comes out, we can give it to you. But so far, he might be out. I don't know how that works, but hamstring injuries, I'm guessing late July or I don't know. Hopefully he's not out too long, because Harrison Bader has been a blessing for us. Harrison Bader, if it wasn't for his damn injuries, that guy is a stud for us. Like
son.
He flourishes in New York. He's a Bronx kid, you know. So I'm afraid that them injuries are the only thing that's going to keep the Yankees from actually giving him an extension. I wouldn't mind giving him a 2-year extension or something like that. But his injuries, it's going to be hard for them to kind of justify giving him a long contract. We don't want this to turn out a bit Hicksy, you know? And speaking of Hicks, Aaron Hicks, Mr. 30-30, the FU attitude. He is no longer a New York Yankee. He was DFA'd and released. And this goes into my next topic with the brass. Hal Steinbrenner, this year, has been saying all the right things. Believe it or not, Hal Steinbrenner got me hyped. Every time they've interviewed him, he's been saying all the right things, and he's given me. I don't speak for all the fans, but he's given me a lot of confidence in the direction of where this team is going. Brian Cashman, on the other hand, it's a little different, but we'll get into that in a few. Hal Steinbrenner, in his interviews, they asked, he was mentioning that he's not afraid to go over the luxury tax if needed. And he was going to get with the players, Aaron Judge, Garrett Cole, and discuss with them what the team needs. Where are they lacking? Like, he wants to hear it from the players. And a few days later, Aaron Hicks was DFA'd. So you be the judge of that. Boom. So I love what's happening so far. I feel like the last time when the fans booed Hal, he took that personal, the Michael Jordan meme. I took that personal. Like, he didn't like that, because I'm guessing he's like, I'm giving all the resources that I need to give. I'm not cheap. People were calling him cheap. He's like, I ain't cheap. I'm giving the money that needs, like, our family and our investors and all the partners, whoever, we're giving the money that the team needs to be a competitive team. And he has. Now, I'm assuming he got offended by the boos. And I'm glad that happened, because it woke him up. Now, he went out there, he did the negotiations with Aaron Judge. He gave the green light for the Rodon. He's talking to the players. He's getting more involved. And that's what we've been crying about for a while. Hal Steinbrenner needs to be more involved. Because for a bit, I feel like all the heat was slowly pivoting towards Hal Steinbrenner. Why are you allowing Cashman to do the deals that he's been doing? Are you really the one behind closed doors forcing him to make these moves? Because we all know Brian Cashman has a huge ego, and he wants to make the right moves that he knows is going to help this team win. I was starting to think like, well, is Hal Steinbrenner kind of limiting Brian Cashman? Is he limiting Brian Cashman? Is that why Brian Cashman feels like he has to make all of these ninja cash deals to not spend a certain amount of money or whatever the case is? What's going on here? And Hal Steinbrenner's come out and spoken to the public and kind of assuring everybody, like, we're going to definitely try to do everything possible to put out a contender out. So and when it comes to Brian Cashman gave us some quotes. Don't count us out. Before the quote of the process. And I'm starting to believe that the process right now is waiting for the baby bombers to come up, because a lot of them are really close this year and next year. The Martian he's been brought up to AAA. I've been seeing people, some check marks, talk about that. The Martian, Jason Dominguez, they have plans for him this year. He's been playing left field in the minor leagues, and he's killing it. Like always, he starts off slow and he starts running off. So their plans are they might push to have the Martian come up this year, which will be amazing, which will be awesome. Everybody wants to see the Martian play. Everybody wants to see what Jason Dominguez could do in the majors. So, our baby bombers right now, the ones that are in the majors, they're doing good, but they're not doing what everybody thought they would do. And we've known this. I've said this numerous times. Don't expect these baby bombers to come up and just flourish and just become superstars. You know, Anthony Volpe, his average isn't that high, but Anthony Volpe has had his moments where he's come big. He had his first walk-off. You know, his defense, he's made some mistakes, but they're rookies. I've seen a lot of comparison of, we're putting up with these, why can't we hold these rookies accountable, et cetera, et cetera. Like, listen, if we could sit there and put up with Aaron Hicks, if we could put up with a Gary Sanchez and all the other players that just sitting there wasting a spot, we can put up with these rookies underperforming in the few months that they started the majors. Like, I can put up with that. I can deal with that. He makes a big error and it costs us some runs. I can deal with that. What I'm not going to deal with is veterans like Aaron Hicks, who's gone. So we're going to stop using him as a scapegoat. But you get what I'm saying. Like, we've dealt with a lot of vets and we put up with a lot of their nonsense. The most we could do is put up with these rookies. Derek Jeter didn't come to the majors and just become a star. A lot of these people complaining weren't around long enough. They shouldn't be sitting here like, if I don't know something, I wasn't around I didn't watch baseball in the 80s. You know, I started watching baseball in the mid-90s. So I could talk about the 90s baseball. I can't talk about the 80s. Some of these fans now, they weren't around at certain times. They're not allowed to comment. I mean, comment, cool, because all of our opinions matter. But some of these opinions that they're giving off are way out of pocket. Like, I've seen a lot of people saying to bring down Volpe. Send Anthony Volpe back down. Are you kidding me? They're not going to do that. Anthony Volpe is the golden boy of the New York Yankees. We all know that shit's not happening. Another prospect I feel sorry for is Peraza. He's been up. Originally, the shortstop position was his to lose. Everybody knew it. He was going to be the shortstop. But they said in the offseason that the shortstop position was going to be a competition. Nobody that watched spring training can sit there and say that Peraza deserved the job, the shortstop position over Anthony Volpe. Anthony Volpe showed out. He knew what he had to do and he did it. He showed out. He performed way better than Peraza. So it is what it is. C'est la vie. He was brought down. But there's been a lot of situations where Peraza should have been brought back up. And they're treating him like as if he's an Andujar, as if he wasn't one of the top prospects in the game. I've said this a few videos back. Like it's like they're treating Peraza weird. So I don't know if he's gonna be a trade candidate or if they just waiting for the right moment to bring him up, because they're saying that Josh Donaldson is coming up. He's ready. He's almost ready. And when he comes up, he's gonna play every day. Rizzo, there was some situation with Anthony Rizzo and Tatis Jr. where Rizzo went to scoop the ball, Tatis went to tag back at first, and he hurt his neck or something like that. I could be wrong. I don't know if it's the back or the neck. And which was crazy because Rizzo even shoved Tatis.
Damn,
after
son.
He got hurt. I looked at the play, yeah. Tatis could have slid back but it didn't look like anything where we're going to sit there and say, yo, Tatis is a monster. He did that on purpose. Like, he went back to first. Rizzo was down there low, scooping the ball. It is what it is. I'm not going to sit here and blame Tatis Jr. for that. Speaking of Tatis Jr., that boy is a star. I love me a Tatis Jr., bro. That kid is a star. A lot of fans hate him. But let's be honest, if that dude was on the Yankees and he was doing all of these shenanigans with the taunting the fans and whatnot, we'd love him. Maybe not the boomers, but the fans, we'd love Tatis Jr. I don't get this whole notion that they got to sit there yelling steroids. Guess what he did? He knocked a home run. And he threw it back in the fans' faces. They didn't like that. But, like, why? I hate that the fans do this. Like, it reminds me, to me, I categorize it right there with the F. Altuve chants. Every time fans do that, that player that they're mocking shoves it in their faces. Can we stop this? Like, we're better than this. Let the game do the talking. Like, to me, it's stupid. Steroids. You think that's gonna bother him, bro? That kid is paid. He's getting paid. All you're doing is giving him fuel. You're giving him ammunition. The same way with how it was with Altuve and with Carlos Correa. We're not hurting them by booing them and chanting this stuff. When these are professional athletes, when they're in this stadium and they hear the crowd chanting, they hear us, but they're not really listening to us. All they're hearing is the chants and the loudness, and they get amped up. They love that. They love that environment. So all we're doing is giving them ammunition. Cut it out. Cut it out. It's the same thing as the F. Altuve chants. Yankee fans, don't we hate in random stadiums, they bust out Yankees suck. How dumb do they look? That's how you guys look. Let's cut that out. Let's cut that out. Like, it's ridiculous. But anyways, Tatis is a star. Let's get that out the way. But he's never going to be a Yankee, so it doesn't even matter. So let's move on. We got players coming back, though. Stanton, Rodon, Tommy Kahnle, Josh Donaldson, Luis Hill, electric Luis Hill. Like, he's coming back soon. What can we expect right now? I'm not sure what's going on with Anthony Rizzo, but if he's out for a few, I'm assuming that DJ LeMahieu is going to cover first. And then when Josh Donaldson's up, he's back at third. Because I don't think the Yankees are going to do anything of a Peraza or Chaparro. Like, I would have brought up Chaparro and put him in first and leave DJ at third. But if DJ's going to play first, I would have had Peraza come up. But we have Donaldson coming back. And you know what? I'm a little bit happy that Donaldson's coming back. For the first time, like I've said in my other videos, and I know I'm contradicting myself, I'm excited for a comeback season on Donaldson. I'm really, because at this point, we don't have no other choice. They have choices, but they're not going to do it. You know how the Yankees brass is. They're not going to just be wasting, whatever. They're not going to be calling him up and then to call him back down. They're not going to do that. So I'm assuming when Donaldson comes up, he's going to slide right into third and DJ's going to be at first. That's the way the Yankees are going to operate. But I'm really pulling for Donaldson. I hope he has a comeback. If we could get anything close to what he even did with the Twins, his numbers weren't that bad. That's why they pulled the trigger on him. Because even with the Twins, he was doing pretty good. So the Yankees still believe in him because at the end of the day, his defense is still elite. That old man could play defense. He could play a mean third. They're hoping that his back could catch up to it. I'm hoping too. Just give us a 270 average. Give us something. And like I said before, anything will be better than what he's given us. So let's this time around, I'm gonna stay positive. Like I said before, I'm gonna try to be on the positive side because there was a time where I was a super Yankee apologist. After the 2020 season, it's kind of went downhill. That COVID season, it ruined everybody. So I went into a slump, and I kind of got fed up with it because I used to defend Brian Cashman like crazy. And I kind of went into a mode where I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. Especially with all the bullshit trades that he's did. But I feel like I'm going to get out of that because there's no point in complaining and crying, you know? So I'm going to stay positive. Oh, maybe that's what the baseball guys want from me, right? Sicario, stay positive. You got it, bro. I'm going to stay a little positive and let's see what happens. Because right now with the brass, Brian Cashman said, trust the process. Nobody really has an idea of what the process is. I'm assuming right now that the process is a lot of these young players that are, they are banging on the door ready. I think that's going to be the process. Hal Steinbrenner gave him a 4-year extension. I think in the next few years, this is his last chance with these prospects that he's brought in, this minor league system, the Yankees have done a good job. For the first time, I feel like in a while, we got a really good farm system right now. A lot of top players, a lot of I think they're ready. Some of these guys are flying through the minors, but I think they're waiting for some of these prospects to be ready to call up and to sprinkle in some vets and some of the regulars. I think that's going to be the process. And if that doesn't work out in the next 2-3 years and we still are getting the early boot, I think Hal Steinbrenner is going to really put his foot down. Like, all right, that's it. That's enough. Your prospects didn't work out. You know, we got Sibian and we got Minaya in there. Maybe they'll do a phantom IL stint with Brian Cashman. He'll step down and kind of let them take over. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. I'm just At the bochinche, I'm gossiping. But let's see what happens. Hopefully the process works. I'm hoping that's what the process is, that involves the baby bombers. Either we're going to use them or we're going to use them for a trade bait. I don't know. But this deadline, 2023 deadline, is one of the most important deadlines for the New York Yankees.
Damn,
This
son.
deadline is going to solidify if we're going to make a deep run in the playoffs or if we aren't. There's a few teams right now that are going to be sellers. And I've been on the Chicago White Sox has a few players there that we can get. And we've traded with the White Sox before. We can do it again. The Chicago White Sox have two starting pitchers that I would like. Dylan Cease and Lucas Giolito. Both of them are not in their Cy Young type performance, but they're still very good pitchers. And with Matt Blake, I think either one of those two would flourish in New York. And like my guy Hector from the Morning Brew, shout out to my guy Hector in the Morning Brew and Steels in their show. So like Hector brought up, he would love for the Yankees to trade for Joe Kelly from the Chicago White Sox. He's a relief pitcher. He's like the setup man. He used to be, he was on the Dodgers, but we know Joe Kelly from the Boston Red Sox. And one thing I can say about this dude is, that dude is tough, and he don't take no ish. We saw the fight between him and I forgot what's his face, that he's no longer even in the MLB. I think he plays in Korea or in Japan or something, when the Red Sox and the Yankees had a brawl. He's been in the playoffs. He's battle tested in the playoffs with the Dodgers, with the Red Sox. You know, I feel like that would be a low-key good move for us. You know, it wouldn't cost that much because he's not the closer. He's not as elite. But I feel like somebody with that attitude and with his repertoire, I think he would fit well with New York. We need some relief pitchers that have that that has that FU attitude, you know, go out there and they aren't afraid to pitch. So right now we can use somebody with that type of edge, because our bullpen is a little bit it's getting deflated. Like our starters aren't going long enough. So we're wasting this bullpen real early in the season. We got Tommy Kahnle coming back. I love Tommy Tight Pants. Tommy Red Bull. He's coming back too. But, you know, we can use... Right now we have Abreu, and Abreu his past few performances, his past few games have been okay. But he's had his blunders where he's giving up runs and whatnot, and a lot of the fans want him gone. But the kid has talent. I just feel like if we have some other relievers, it could kind of take away from the pressure, because they've been using him in some big moments, and you know, not all of these kids can handle it. So I think the Chicago White Sox and I wouldn't mind, the Sox have Luis Roberts, an outfielder. That dude could hit homers. I think he would do really well in Yankee Stadium. I don't know his numbers there. They probably suck. They're probably good. I don't know. Arizona has some starters that are pretty good. Like, this is going to be an important deadline. Let's see what the Yankees do. We'll be able to know where they stand once this deadline comes, and we'll be able to see how serious they are with the moves that they've made. Because so far, the Yankees seem serious. They DFA'd Aaron Hicks. We've all been saying it. The day that the Yankees DFA Aaron Hicks is when we know that they're serious. And they did it. They still owed him, I think, $24 million or $27 million, something like that. And they got rid of him. They're going to eat that up. Good for them. Good for you, Hal. He's listening. When he said he was going to sit down with the head dudes in that team, the leaders, he's done it. So let's see what else they're going to be cooking up. Hopefully he gives Brian Cashman a longer leash in the aspects of trading for players and the luxury tax, etc. So that process of that Cashman has been, you know, telling everybody to trust. Let's see. I think Hal Steinbrenner gave him this 4-year extension to see, all right, this is it, kid. This is it. Let's see. You got all these baby bombers. This is your work. They're real close to coming up. Let's see what happens. If this doesn't work, I promise you, I don't think Brian Cashman's going to get another extension after this one. Mark my words. If this process doesn't work right now, because they're so close, because all of these baby bombers, these prospects are close. A lot of them are running up through the minor league system. I feel like if this doesn't work out, then he'll be gone. But let's see how everything plays out. Because, I mean, right now, one of the players that he's in the minor leagues right now that a lot of fans like to call him a 4A player is Florial. And he's been killing it in the minor league system. And people are like, well, he's had his chance. No, he's never been really giving a chance. I don't remember a year where he's had over 45 games. Because when he goes down to the minor leagues, he kills it because guess what? He's playing every damn day. So I feel like if they bring him up, he needs a solid chance. If not, do something with him. Trade him or I don't know. We got to do something. The Yankees got to do something. We need a left fielder right now. Like I said before, they're pampering the Martian to play left field. Maybe that's what they're going to do for left field. But that's going to be tricky, bringing him up late in the season, and then we don't know if he's going to struggle off the rip, or is he going to come in hot. So I feel like the Yankees need to just solidify the team, get some elite bats, get ourselves another 1A, 1B type starter. And get us somebody for the bullpen. I mean, those are the 3 areas that we really need help in. Because at catching, we got Trevino coming back up. We got Benny the Ghost. I was saying that, I tweeted this when they first brought him up. They need to call him Benny the Ghost because they didn't know if he really existed or not. They didn't know if he was real. But so far, fans, be happy. The Yankees are looking pretty good. You can still tell they have their holes, but from what we're seeing right now, they're meshing well. The chemistry on there is good. Like I quoted before, in Jack Curry's 1998 Yankees book, he was talking about how when the Baltimore Orioles fought against the Yankees, and they had that whole fight and whatnot. I tweeted this a while ago, and it gave them life. And I feel like that Blue Jay series, same thing happened. It gave this team some life. And it shows. They're out there, they're battling it out. Now, if they don't have the lead, I'm getting back into that mode where I feel like, well, it's not over. Because sometimes there's games where the bats are so dead that a 1-run lead, 2-run lead, we're like, this game is over. But they've been fighting back, so I'm a little bit happy right now with what we've been seeing. And some players on this team are surprising us. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, Hawaiian Hustle. I am proud of you, kid. This kid went from one of the most hated on the team to becoming a fan favorite because he's not like how Aaron Hicks was complaining about his play time and I don't want to come from the bench and face closers. No. IKF has been like, where do you need me? All right, cool. I'm going to bust my ass and see if I can play that position. And he's been everywhere. And guess what? He's been hitting. And he's hitting some big positions. And he's, I feel like he's flourishing in his role. He's trusted himself to just play his game. And the Yankees trust him too. And we're getting to see that. I mean, he's been having some pop. He's been hitting a few home runs. I've said it before. I'm a fan of IKF. If they would have never brought him in with Donaldson and all that, if they would have just grabbed IKF to play third base, I think fans would have loved him from the get. But they tried that whole shortstop debacle, and we knew that didn't work. And he's bounced back. He's been working on himself. He's been working on his bat, his glove, and he'll play anywhere. He played center field. He played left field. He played shortstop. He looked good. He didn't make any mistakes. Good for you, kid. Good for you. I hope your father's happy right now. I hope none of these bonehead Yankee fans are DMing him any nonsense or anything like that. But good for you, kid. I want to throw in a real quick. I was tweeting. For anybody that's been following me for a while, y'all know I be on my shit. I go on Twitter. Whenever there's potential trade candidates or free agent candidates, I like to throw those rumors out. So I've been talking about the Juan Soto to the Yankees rumor again. I've done this a few years. We didn't get him. The Nationals didn't like what we were offering. That's fine. The fans got to come to. They need to accept that not all these teams are gonna like our prospects the way we do, the way that the Yankee brass does. Because from a lot of outsiders, they said that Anthony Volpe was overhyped. Whatever. They said he was one of the top shortstops, and they also said he was overhyped. So that's weird. But You get what I'm saying? I feel like everybody's talking about Shohei Ohtani possibility to the New York Yankees. That some people truly believe that they're gonna go on board to try to get him. I can believe that because we've been hearing that the past 2 trade deadlines, they've went hard to get Shohei Ohtani, and the Angels didn't want to do it. They were listening. Now, tinfoil hat back on, everybody. I'm gonna give you guys a few seconds to put your tinfoil hats on. You guys ready? Okay. I don't know if you remember my old videos of when Harold Reynolds was talking about Aaron Judge going to the LA Angels. Yeah, they shot that down, blah, 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 whatever. But there's got to be a reason why he even brought that up. There was something he knew. Trades can happen and then they diminish just as fast. I'm almost certain during that time of when Aaron Judge and Brian Cashman were having issues with their contracts, I'm assuming Brian Cashman was taking calls on Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge was going to go to the Angels. My question is, who was coming back? Was it going to be Shohei Ohtani? Excuse me. Or was it going to be a Mike Trout? In some way of we're taking that contract, or I don't know. So one of those 2 top dogs were coming to New York. And with the way the Yankees have been trying to trade for Shohei Ohtani, I'm assuming it might have been him. So yeah, it's believable. Nothing is impossible in the baseball world. Whenever people bring up these crazy trades and they're like so-and-so for this star, like, I don't laugh at these deals. Anything is possible. You never know. Any of these superstars could become available at some point. And Brian Cashman's fast. When he sees an opening and he likes it, boom, he goes for it. So Shohei Ohtani to the New York Yankees, it's a possibility. But I truly believe that the Mets are gonna go hard body for him. I think the Mets are truly gonna go. To me, my 2 low-key teams I had, and I said it before, are the San Diego Padres and the San Francisco Giants. I think the battle this for Ohtani is gonna be between the Mets, the Dodgers, and the Padres. If the Padres get Ohtani, guess what? They're not signing Juan Soto. That could be a blessing in disguise for us. Because if there's a player out there that fits perfectly for this team, is a Juan Soto. There was a player available a few years back that it gave me the same feeling, like he fit so perfect. And that was Bryce Harper. That man was built for New York, for that Yankee Stadium. And they didn't do it. They lost out on Bryce Harper. I hope the Yankees don't lose out on a potential perfect fit the way Soto is for this team. Oh, his numbers are terrible this year. He looked pretty damn good in New York, in the Bronx. He hit a home run on us. Like, he looked good. That San Diego's Padres team is a freak. And they're playing terrible. But guess what, folks? Y'all better pray that team doesn't click. Because the amount of stars and talent on that team, they're going to make a run. I feel like in the NL, I think that's going to be the team, low-key, that's going to make it to the World Series. That team is stacked. Their pitching is what's messing them up. But, you know, as we've seen, their GM is aggressive. Their owner and brass, they're very aggressive. So, but man, all right, Tim, before we take off the tinfoil hats, can you imagine, though, Juan Soto in New York, in Yankee Stadium? He wants to play in New York. He had that picture a few years back with the Big Apple in the Met Stadium. A lot of people were saying, well, he wants to be a Met, blah, 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 blah. I think he just wants to play in New York. I think he'd be okay with either team. But if there was a more perfect fit for this New York Yankees team than Juan Soto, please show me. Who's a better fit right now? I'd trade the farm for that kid. But anyways, he still has, I think, after this year, he has 2 more years with the San Diego Padres. And if they go all out for Shohei Ohtani, I don't think they're going to sign Juan Soto. That could be a potential fit. But anyways, if the process is what we think it is with the Baby Bombers, I don't think that maybe it won't happen. But man, I know they tried to trade for Juan Soto and they offered all our top dogs for him, but they didn't like him. From my understanding, they even offered Volpe, and the Nationals didn't like Volpe. They didn't like our guys.
Damn,
they didn't think it was
son.
a fit. So, hey. But anyways, be happy, folks. The New York Yankees are rolling. Kind of. They're kind of rolling and they're limping. So once we get all our guys back, then we could kind of process it and kind of determine if this year is going to be shit or not. So follow me on Twitter at Don Sicario1. Follow our jefe, our mente maestra, NYY News, Felix. Go on his page at NYY News. Hit up the shop. There's a lot of stuff in there. Don't forget to like and subscribe this video. Give us your comments. Tell us your opinions. At the end of the day, all of our opinions matter, regardless of other fans don't like it or not. Because remember, folks, without us, these athletes, they're playing in front of empty stadiums. We matter. Don't let anybody tell you we don't matter. But hit up NYY News. Hit up the shop. There's a lot of good stuff on there. And go to in this channel right here on YouTube, the NYY News channel. There's a lot of talent on this channel. My guy NYY News, Ruben, like Felix is growing something real good here, and I'm digging it. So subscribe to the channel, and we're gonna be cooking up a lot. We're gonna be cooking up a lot this year. So just remember, folks, you matter, and at the end of the day, hold it down.
Mixing live straight from New York City.